Welcome, let me fix my shades, to Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind, stimulate your mind, and welcome all kind. Depression and anxiety we will be discussing today. And I have none other than Hope. Uh, she's going to be talking about her experiences with um, anxiety and depression. And hopefully we all can learn something because with what's going on today, I mean, there's a time that all of us or some of us may sometimes feel a bit of depression or anxiety because things are not working out. But I'm not going to talk too long. I want her to come on and talk about it. But before I do that, I want everybody to make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you can get the updates and go and tell your friends and talk about Third Eye Visions, man. And make sure to like, share, and comment. So, with a let's see, this is a Labor Day edition. I am so proud to bring on a great friend of mine. She's been very persistent and really wanted to come on and share her viewpoint about depression and anxiety and share her thoughts and feelings about it and what she is experiencing. None other than my friend and yours, Hope. Can I use your last name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Rugi.
Okay. Rugi.
Yep, you said it right.
And it's spelled Rouge.
Rouge. Yep.
Now, how about this is a trip because Baton Rouge, BATONROUGE, and it's ROUG is pronounced Rouge, and then your name Rugi is ROUGE, and it's pronounced different. Just a little food for thought. You know what I'm
Yeah. Sometimes
saying?
people do say rouge. Sometimes it's
Oh,
kind of
really?
it's really cool. Yeah.
Well, that's
Or
that's what
rouge.
that's what that's what my voiceover had pronounced it as. So I stand corrected. But
It's all
nevertheless,
good.
how are you doing today, Hope?
Well, I am doing all right.
That's good.
I am so happy and glad to be on your show. I always enjoy your shows,
Oh, girl,
and
the check is in the mail. Go ahead, finish it.
no, you're just so talented. Like, dude,
Girl,
it's just
stop, stop.
I love your show. It's
Thank you
great.
so much.
Like,
Well, forget about my show. We don't want to talk about my show. We want to talk about your show. Tell everybody about your show and what they can expect. Because when I finish, we're gonna put the links in the description and we're gonna share it and everything. So tell everybody about your show. We ain't talking about Third Eye Visions right about now. Go ahead.
well, I have a YouTube channel. It's my first and last name, Hope Rouge. HOPE space ROUGE. As of yesterday, I got 5 new subscribers, so I'm up to 75 now.
Great, 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 great.
And I want to get it up as much as I can. And what I talk about is what technology I can use and talk about my blindness.
Mm,
And I try to be positive because I really do believe that no matter what our disabilities are or challenges, we all are the same in a lot of ways, no matter how different we are. And
okay,
we all deserve love and support and friends.
okay.
And I try to support as many people with disabilities and non disabilities people's YouTube channels as much as I can. And I'd hope that they would do the same for me.
Well, you don't have to hope, because I
Yeah.
definitely look, I play on words. I definitely support channels. I support yours because that's what it's all about and whatnot. And again, for those who just joining us, we're going to be talking about depression and anxiety. But the way you sound, it doesn't sound like you're depressed. I mean, what's the deal? Do you experience it on certain days or what have you? Not trying to belittle those individuals who really are depressed, but well, you sound upbeat and everything. What's going on?
Well, I'm just so excited to be here. I think that's a
Okay.
lot of it.
Okay, let's do
Um,
this.
and I try to be as positive as I can. Like when you're having a crappy day, even though you don't say out loud something positive, at least try to think of it in your mind.
Mhm.
Even if it's just the fact that you woke up that morning and you got to go to work or you did 300 parts a day. It's something positive about your day, or you heard from a friend you haven't heard from in a while, or you met someone new that you can talk to as a friend. And if you can share a smile with somebody, or do something positive, that's what I'm about. And I do have depression. I do struggle with my self-worth, believe it or not. I am on depression meds and anxiety meds.
Mm.
I did try to cut myself at least once. I never succeeded, but I have a lot of marks.
Okay. Okay. Well, look.
So,
Here's what we're gonna do, so we won't get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about how long you've been dealing with it, and is there a certain thing that triggered you to experiment to develop any forms of depression and anxiety? So talk to the people and tell them, at what point did you start feeling a certain way, which had you diagnosed as being depressed or feeling.
I'm really not sure. It's been happening for a very long time. And I think it's about self-worth. You know how sometimes you have people in your life that say you're not going to amount to nothing because you don't go to
Mm,
college?
mm,
Well, that's kind of
yes.
what I had. And so I've always wanted to become famous in a positive way. Um, and to show people that even though I don't go into college, I still can amount to something. And so I decided, if I can find positivity in every day. And my aunt once actually told me, when I used to be a more negative person, my aunt said, you need to find something positive every day. You
Mm,
need to try to become more positive.
mm,
And I thought about that and I'm like, she's right. And so I always try to see the positive in people and the positive in myself and the positive in every day. And some things, like I get picked on for my weight a lot.
mm,
And like as blind people, it's really hard to know to portion our food. And sometimes food can carry us away, kind of like where you eat too much or you like a certain food. And what I struggle with is food a lot. Like I've learned that if something tastes good, it's bad for you. And if something tastes bad,
it's good for you.
it's good for you. And that food that is good for you is so expensive. And so it's so hard for me to eat my vegetables. And
That's true.
it's like, and it's sometimes it's hard for me to portion things. And sometimes I may think I'm portioning something and it doesn't work. And I've had people pick on me about my clothes. Either they're, you know, not the right size or,
Hmm.
they're too tight or too short or like they look like high water pants or, just an example like that. And um,
Well,
yeah.
people are just, I mean, just mean. I mean, a lot of people that's just totally mean. That's why, you should have to. And I know it's easier said than done. Just don't pay them attention and continue to do you. But as far as you developing a form of depression, you said that you were sort of picked on, like bullied, or you were told that you weren't going to mount up to anything. Was that the catalyst that caused you to become depressed, or was there some other things? I mean, talk to the audience and let them know, like, you know bringing them into your mind and your mindset, and let them know what it was that, like, really got you over the edge, if I may.
I think that might have been it. And just sometimes being overly negative sometimes might have caused it. And just like how people are towards you and how, as blind people and some other disabilities too, sometimes our families can be our harshest critics.
That's right. That's right.
And so can, not to belittle our families because I love my family dearly. I know they mean well, but
Mm,
sometimes how people's families handle things is not always the best. And and sometimes the way we as disabled people handle things aren't always the best.
mm.
And so I guess, I lost my train of thought. What am I trying to say? I guess, just
You were just talking about how families could be our worst enemies, and by them doing certain things to you could trigger certain ill responses and what have you. But as I pick up where you left off, how often did you receive this negative uh,
um,
feeling, or the negative connotation, in terms of people telling you certain things that caused you to feel depressed? How often was it? An everyday thing, or how was it? How often was it?
quite a bit when I was a kid, because I always had trouble trying in school. And I people would say I didn't try hard enough in school. And because school was really hard for me, especially being in the public school.
Mhm.
They kind of taught me how to study wrong in some ways. Like they would give me the questions that are actually on the test and the answers and study that way instead of learning how to actually study.
Oh
And
God.
so I really struggled with school. And um, I'm grateful for being at um, a regular public school and at the school for the blind. Because at the school for the blind, I had many other experiences like cheerleading, track, speech, and go ball, and I won a lot of ribbons
Okay.
and some medals, and I got my letter, and I'm very grateful for that. And I experienced prom and just different things.
And was this an avenue for you to escape the negativity that your closest friends and family members were were giving you?
Um, yeah, sometimes, like eventually, as I got older, it kind of stopped. Like the saying "I wouldn't amount to anything" kind of stopped, but not the belittling me about my weight and stuff like that. That hasn't stopped.
Now, when they were saying that you would not amount to anything, what was the reason for? I mean, it's a dumb. It was definitely not healthy at all. But what was the reason why they were saying this? Or were they just coming out the blue and saying it? Or not that it should matter, but just for the sake of conversation, what was the reason why they were saying that? Because I know you sound like you were trying hard to do whatever it is that you were trying to do. So why were they saying that?
I don't really remember. I think my mind just kind of closes off to it.
Mm,
So I don't really remember if it's like just arguments we'd get into, or, just certain people, they would do things and maybe my family would wish I would be like them, at
oh,
least back then, kind of thing. Um, it might have been like that, but I'm like I said, I'm not sure. I kind of closed my mind off to it now, so
mhm.
I don't really fully remember. But
Now, and now, as we focus on depression, there's also anxiety that sometimes coupled with depression. But I want to ask you, uh, in your diagnosis, does depression and anxiety run hand in hand, or how did you come up with, or how were you diagnosed as being having anxiety?
the anxiety actually just started like maybe 2, 3 years ago.
Mm,
So, and I don't know how to describe it. I just kept feeling really anxious and just
right.
kind of, and I might have felt that all my life, but it just became more so. And I do get anxious. It's like I'm a people person, but I'm
Mm,
also afraid of being around people, kind of.
mm,
You wouldn't know that by the way I act, though,
exactly.
because I'm a germaphobe. I'm like afraid of germs and afraid of getting sick, and
Mm,
so sometimes lately, I've been having this thing within the last year or so. And I don't know if this is to do with COVID or what it's to do with, but
mm,
like, you know how you hang out with your friends and you hang out with family and you hang out with people, and then you come home and you're just at home, and all of a sudden you get this big wave of anxiety like, oh no, did they have any sickness I didn't know about and they didn't know about? Or,
mm,
you know, am I going to be okay?
mm,
Um, it kind of like that. I've been having that a lot after going out and doing things. And
mm,
sometimes my anxiety also comes from like when I have to go shopping by myself, which isn't much. My dear boyfriend is so awesome. He helps me a lot.
uh-huh,
But sometimes I'll do little shopping trips, like to grab CDs or to grab little things here and there if when I'm able to take the bus. Um, and that's nerve wracking in itself to
mm,
ask for help, but I still push myself to do it. Because for the longest time at stores in my town, people would be really cranky and say they didn't have time. And it took them a long time to realize that, hey, she's blind, she needs help. And I'd like to commend Target in my town. They are so awesome and patient with me.
oh.
They are so great. The people there are so awesome and kind. The Walmart people are too.
Now, when you frequent these stores and stuff like that, that sort of creates a friendship or understanding between you as a customer, um, and the people who work there. So that kind of decreases the anxiety, because I understand what you're saying in terms of, and some people probably feel that way about asking for help and whatnot, and feeling like people may say no, or just getting a negative response and whatnot. And has that happened to you prior to you actually starting to get out and ask for help? Whenever you go out to these places, where you're kind of like nervous about actually asking for help, and that created a sense of anxiety within you?
Yeah, I was kind of taught that at the school for the blind to ask for help too.
Mhm.
So I mean, I started doing it there too. but like I still get nervous just because you just don't know every day how people are gonna be or if they're
Mhm.
having a bad day, and um so I get nervous, but I do it. Push through it somehow, and I feel good when I succeed,
Right,
and
right, right.
I feel like I'm showing people, even if it's just a teeny little shopping trip, that blind people can go out and do things, and they're very awesome about doing sighted guide,
Mm,
and they're also very awesome about hanging on to the cart and guiding the cart when I hold on to the cart,
mhm.
and they're just really awesome, and I just think it's great.
Now, do you also, or would you, or is it safe to say that when your people were sending you these negative vibes and saying that you won't be any amounts of anything, did that sort of create a sense of anxiety or anxiousness, if you will, a tongue twister, in terms of trying to prove them wrong, and by them constantly saying, you get a little nervous and want to try to do your best to try to please them? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, yeah, I do get nervous what people think, and I do hope that I prove them wrong, and that's kind of why I want to become famous,
Mm,
because if I became famous, I would hope that um, I would be able to help other people and just show people that I didn't have to go to college to become famous.
mm, mhm,
And I would hope I would keep my same personality, and I hope that I would still be able to be positive, and I hope the negativity of press wouldn't get to me, but I don't know because I've never been famous.
mm,
Um, I always had a dream of doing voiceovers and singing and acting. Now, singing I'm very shy with. I don't play piano, but my
mm,
one of my music coaches um, at my school for the blind said, "You know what? You may not play piano or an instrument,
mm.
but your voice is an instrument."
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's
I
true.
really took that to heart, and honestly, if I could ever find someone to work with me that wouldn't want money right away, I would work really hard, and um, I would hope that um, they wouldn't mind helping me. I won't have
Right,
anxiety about that
right.
because I don't know. It's this thing I'm shy about, but once I get comfortable singing again,
Mm.
then I'm like not
Feel
as
better
shy.
about it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. Now, uh, depression and anxiety, as we bounce back and forth to with depression. I mean, give the audience a day in which you may feel a bit depressed or what have you. I mean, what do you go through? Like, because some people, they depressed, they eat a lot, they do this, they do that. What is your typical depression day like?
Sometimes I don't want to get out of bed. Sometimes I just have low energy. Sometimes I'm like, I had a bad day. I really just need a bowl of ice cream, and we
Mm,
don't have any, and so it's ice cream is one of my go-tos. It's my downfall. I love ice cream.
mm. Now, you say you've clinically been diagnosed as having depression, right? So you take medicine, things like that for it, right?
Yep,
Mhm.
depression and anxiety. Yep.
Now, what earlier you talked about how you had tried to cut yourself. Take us through those times in which you felt that way, and if you can remember what prompted you to feel like you wanted to do that.
I don't know. I just felt so empty, and I was alone in my apartment, and I don't know what triggered it. I just was in one of my depressive modes, and it was a butter knife. But I just I don't know if I wondered what it would feel like if it would
Mm,
take care of my depression or if it would relieve something,
mm,
but it didn't really. And I never did it again because I got told if I ever did it again that people, they'd put me in a mental ward or something, and that scared me, and I just didn't tried not to do it again.
So what actually happened? I mean, tell the people what happened. I mean, what you cut your wrist, or you cut what part of your body that you had?
Like above the wrist, like the forearm, and I had like a lot of scratches and no bleeding or anything. Um,
And
so
this was during your depressive state of mind, you said?
yeah, one time when I was just really down, just like really depressed, like
Mm.
I don't know, I just was so sad, and it's just like
Now you don't hear like voices or anything trying to tell you to do certain things that touch
no,
on.
nope, nope, no.
Okay. Now, as far as your friends and what have you, do you have a lot of those? A lot of friends that
Yeah. Hmm.
mm. And the medicine that they've given you, has it worked out for you, or how has it been for you as far as trying to aid this depression and anxiety that you experience?
My mom, one med I'm on for anxiety helps for the most part if I take it at a exact time. But lately, I've kind of been having trouble with my med.
Hmm.
My work schedule's been a little different, so it's kind of messed up my med schedule. So I got to try to find a way to get it all back on track. I've been still taking them, but it's. Um, I switched to a new depression med. I can't remember the name of it, but there's this other one that I can't remember the name of. I was on for a long time, and I just felt like it wasn't working. But um, I think my depression meds that I'm on now are working. I just think I find myself more emotional still at
Hmm.
things, and I don't know if that's just as I get older, or if it's a side effect of my med.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think for the most part I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. And have you just your friends that you associate with? Do they know that you experiencing this? And if so, what do they try to do? Try to keep you on the upward spiral.
Um, I've never really talked to anybody about it. I've
Mm,
kind of kept it to myself, but my friends, some of them know that I've been depressed, that I've on medication, and I don't condone the medication. I think whatever you need to do to cope, that's can help you.
hmm.
And just try to keep positive people in your life if you can, and try to stay away from drama and negativity.
Definitely. Now, are there other things in life, like as of what's going on today with, with the COVID and just different racial tensions and things that are occurring that you have no control of? Do they affect you in any way by thinking when you think about them or hear about them? Does that affect you as far as you being in the state of mind that you are in?
um, Sometimes it can, like when I first when I first got my dose of the vaccination for COVID,
Hmm.
that really nerved me out. That was like one where I was, both of them actually did, because you hear stories of people like getting sick, and you know
Right.
some are bad, some aren't, and it's like it just nerved me out. It like stressed me out, and I'm like, but I know I gotta get it, because it's gonna protect me, and so I got it. I got through it, but I didn't get really sick. Just the second one, I just felt kind of ancient, like achy and just
Mhm.
tired, and yeah.
Okay. Well, man, as I mentioned at the top of the show, you definitely seem to be a bit upbeat, more than I am at times. You mean I go through a lot of things, but you seem very cheerful, and everything. So I commend you on that. One more question, a couple more that I want to ask you. You said your boyfriend. How supportive has he been as far as you dealing with your depression and anxiety? How supportive has he been?
Oh, he's very supportive. He helps me. He'll talk to me, and he'll try to calm me down, and he'll give me a hug, and
Mm,
he'll tell me everything will be okay. And
mm.
he's
Now,
really sweet.
now you also mentioned wanting to be famous. Does that also bring on a bit of anxiety, knowing that it may take longer, or your definition of being famous may be, too a bit far fetched, or whatever the case may be? Do you feel a bit of anxiety in that aspect in terms of trying to reach a status such as that?
Yeah, actually, it does. I always worry, like, will it ever happen, and how would I take care of my finances, and how would I handle the negativity, and how could I cope with it, and what, feeling like, oh gee, what did I get myself into? But
Mm-hmm.
and I'd hope that if I ever did become famous, that I'd be able to put the effort and the work into it that it needed.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Now, when you say famous, what's your definition of hoping to become famous? What's your definition of famous?
like maybe singing on American Idol or The Voice, or
Mm,
um, doing voiceovers for characters, and just being in like little TV shows or soap operas, or like a movie.
and are you doing things to try to help reach that point, that goal that you set for yourself?
Say it again. Sorry.
Are you doing things to help you reach that goal? of what quote unquote fame?
Well, I started my YouTube channel, and I hope my
Right,
positivity and my story could help people. And I tried singing on there, but I had to take it down because I got copyrighted, and
right,
not
right, right,
because of the music out loud. It was in my ears, and I was singing, but I still. I don't know if it's because I got the melody on key and the melody
right.
was just
There
right,
you have. Hmm.
and they copyrighted me for that. So
Okay.
I sadly had to take it down, and I did a very frustrating video about it because I believe in if you can't do something, you find a way to do it, and that's just the way I was able to do it. And I
Okay.
definitely give the artists credit. I'm
Great.
like, I
Yeah.
don't own these songs, and I give credit to all my artists, and I like a variety of music: country, pop, rock, rap, some
Mhm,
oldies, and
mhm.
I'm all around the board.
Yeah, you got to kind of be careful with the YouTube thing. So, as we come to conclusion, what would you say about people who are experiencing a great deal of depression or anxiety or whatever that's that's causing to them to develop a sense of uh, mood altering situations, which cause them to have to take some type of medicine what have you. What do you say to those individuals who are going through these struggles, and as far as those people who bully them as well, because that sometimes bring upon that as well.
I just say try to see past the bullies, try to see past any negativity if you can,
Mm.
and definitely get the help you need. If you're suicidal, definitely get help. I see a wonderful counselor that is awesome. I really enjoy her and talking to her. She really is helpful. And I've been seeing her for quite a few years, and she's just really awesome. And if you have to take meds, don't be down on yourself. Just know that you're trying to help yourself better yourself
I like that.
so you
Good.
can feel better, you know? I don't like taking meds either, and it can get stressful because if you have so many of them, you gotta time it all out, and you gotta take this med with food, and this med you don't have to worry about food, and this med you have to take on an empty stomach. And so I do have,
So
so yeah.
it's basically a regiment of that you have to go through every day in order to stay healthy. Well, if that is what it takes, you got to do what you got to do. If I may inquire, and if it's too personal, say, well, Anthony, I'm not going to answer that. How many pills do you have to take for your anxiety and depression?
Just one for anxiety and one for depression.
Okay, so is it has it been declared as like major, or is there such thing as major depression and major anxiety, or is it just you know anxiety and depression?
They didn't classify it as major.
Mm.
I don't know. They never really told me that.
Okay.
They just said I had depression. And I want to let someone know. I want to let you guys know about my story too.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, if you don't mind.
No, no, this is your time to shine, baby. Go ahead.
Well, I was born 4 to 5 months early, and I was 1 pound 4 ounces.
Mm.
I came home in cabbage patch clothes, if I could talk straight, and I died a couple times. I had many surgeries, like a heart murmur, and I think I had some intestinal stuff, and
Mhm.
like I came back to life, and I'm so grateful to be alive. And sometimes I get this weird feeling every once in a while, and I don't fully know how to describe it, but it's like you feel like you're sitting somewhere, and you're like, "Am I really alive? Am I really here? Like I'm really here?" You know? And it's like
Hard to
I'm so
believe.
grateful to like be alive. And it saddens me when I hear stories about other preemies that don't make it, but I
Mhm.
know that God has in store what He has in store, and they're the angels up in heaven. And you know, I hope that someday that no preemies have to pass away, but I guess it depends on the circumstances,
Mhm.
and that's why I'm so grateful to be alive. And
Well, I'm
I
definitely
just
glad. I'm glad to have you here on the show to be alive and have a testimony and use it to your advantage or whatever, because you definitely have one, and I know that you're going to uh, do emerge, and I know that you're going to do well in whatever you set forth and whatever. You had something else you want to say?
um yeah, I love learning about people with different disabilities, and there's a channel that I often watch. And sometimes on this channel I wish I had sight, because I wish I had more of a better understanding.
Mm,
It's called SBSK, Special Books by Special Kids.
mm.
He interviews people with disabilities, children, adults. I've always wished to be on that show too, actually. And it's a YouTube channel,
Well,
so
you never
he
know.
does
Just
some
be
cool.
be positive, and you never know what may happen, especially in the YouTube world. You know, anything is possible, and I can see you doing some big things and what have you. Hope I definitely, I'm glad that I have had the chance to uh, to speak with you. You have any last minute words you want to say to the people?
Well, I hope that everyone finds the positive in every day, and I hope whatever you're going through that you get through it and you find a way to get through it. And if my videos can help you in any way, shape, or form, that's what I'm all about, and it makes me happy to try to help people in any way I can. And I want to thank you for having me on your show. I think
No.
your show is awesome.
Thanks. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, and I've enjoyed your videos as well. So if
Thank
there's
you.
if there's anything, and I really do, I'm being so sincere. If there's anything else that I could do for you, feel free to hit me up, message me, whatever, and we can talk more. And if you want to come back on at a later date and let the audience see how you're doing, I'd be glad to have you on here. So um,
Awesome. Thank you.
thanks again. All right, everybody, I want to thank you for tuning in to Third Eye Visions, where we had just checked out my girl, Hope Rouge. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did. You
Okay,
did.
good. Hope Rouge. Her name is the same as her YouTube channel, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, if anybody also wanted to have her on it on, you definitely can get in touch with her in that manner as well. Well, there's not that much time left for today. I'm going to give me some more barbecue on this. What day is it? I'm so confused. Oh,
Monday.
Monday, and give me some barbecue on this. Not Independence Day. I'm all over the place. So I'm doing a lot of things. Uh,
So good.
Go and get some barbecue. But definitely, man. Thank you for coming on, and I wish you the best of luck in whatever else you do.
Thank you. I wish you luck too. I appreciate it so much.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.